beautiful souls. Welcome to CosmoMuse Tarot and my weekly Friday insight reading with yes, no, maybe answers to your questions. So this is a reading that, like, my most stable, constant reading that I do every Friday. I do this. So I have fun mixing it up here and there just to kind of freshen it up every once in a while. So I'm going to do that again this week a little bit. In the way in which I'm doing that is I want to make this reading a little bit more versatile so that you could come here with a question that you just want insight to, or you could come here with a more direct yes, no, maybe question, or a question that could use both of those types of answers. So the way that's going to happen is I'm going to initially do some tarot cards to find that yes, no, maybe. And then I'm going to use some oracle cards to get some guidance about your question. So if you have a question that's pretty direct, yes, no, you don't necessarily need guidance. You could kind of tune out after that yes, no, maybe part. Or if you have a question that you're more interested in the guidance and you don't really care about the yes, no, you could just fast forward a little bit and not pay too much attention to the yes, no, and just get to the guidance part, or listen to all of it if that is helpful to have both of those done. Okay, so we have 3 piles today to choose from: Lemurian quartz, opalite, and aragonite. So if you have more than one question, I would focus on one question at a time and pick one pile at a time for those. Just a few housekeepings with how you ask your question. Make sure the question is clear. And especially if you're coming for that yes, no part, make sure it's phrased so that yes would be the outcome you are looking for. So you may have to kind of play with how you phrase it to make it work so that yes is what you would want to hear. Okay, so when you're ready, timestamps are in the descriptions, and I will see you in your readings. Hello, Pile 1. Welcome to your Friday Insight. We are first going to get yes, no, maybe answer to a question you brought here, and then we will do some oracle cards to just get some general guidance on your questions. So feel free to tune into one or the other or both of those aspects of the readings. So we'll start with the yes, no first with tarot. Oops. This one. Let's get one more. Okay, so 7 of Earth. Let's see what we've got. I haven't really even looked at which cards are flipped over. So 7 of Earth, the World, the Wheel of Fortune, and Corridera of Earth in reverse, which I believe is, I sort of forget in this deck which court cards belong to which. So this is either kind of the King or the Knight, I believe. I'm just looking through the deck really quick to see the different options. So Adelita, yeah, this is kind of like equivalent to the King, but in this deck it's kind of the Healer too. So the Healer of Earth, whoops, and that was in reverse. This is not going to be a very straightforward yes, no. I think it sort of depends on what you've asked. Something has come to a close, something's come to a culmination. and a different chapter is coming in. I think whatever you've asked about also could use some healing, no matter if this is a yes or no. Maybe like your self-worth has been damaged a little, or some doubt has entered around your self-worth or something like that. And I see whatever you've asked about, I feel like it's something you've worked really hard on. What I'm getting here is like whatever you've asked about has gone as far as it's supposed to go, and a different chapter is about to come in. And it's just sort of saying like any doubt you're feeling right now, especially around self-worth or finances or possessions, the material realm in general, it's like it may feel, I don't know if lack is the right word. It doesn't feel like lack to me. It just feels like a doubt, or something's off around this. It's like, don't worry about that. That just comes with like a close of a cycle tends to come with like a little bit of chaos, a little bit of dissolving of things. And so the doubt you're feeling is just kind of like trying to hold on to how things have been. But I feel what the cards are indicating here is instead of focusing on like the doubt or the insecurity or the uncertainty, it's more uncertainty, like some uncertainty. It's like focus on like reflecting back on whatever it is that's kind of coming into a culmination and a different chapter coming in, and honor it for what it was, the beauty it brought into your life, what went right about it, what was successful about it, and now just recognize that it's just like a different chapter coming in. So things that might be going wrong aren't that you've done anything or anyone else has necessarily done anything. It's just like a different season of life is coming in. So just celebrate this past season for the beauty it did hold, for what it has successfully brought to your life, because I do feel like it was a long cycle. It was stuff that you've tended to worked hard on, that probably brought, and looking at this wheel of both of these wheels contain a lot of beauty within, a lot of blossoming and beauty within. Like whatever you planted in this past cycle or what you're asking about did fruit. It did bring you harvest. It did bring you beauty. It's just that it's time for a different season. So for the majority of you, whether this is a yes or no depends on what you've asked about. It depends on if you're trying to hold on to something or restore something or get something back. That is a no. If your question is about sort of like, is it time to move forward, or is like a different cycle coming, or should I be just looking elsewhere or beginning something new, that's a yes. So it kind of depends what you asked here. The indication is it's time to move forward anyway. So however that applies to your question in terms of whether that's yes or no to what you asked. But definitely already, because we're going to now move into sort of advice for a question you've brought here, already getting some wisdom from the cards that came out that you should be focusing on what was beautiful about this past season, the past cycle, and just celebrating it and incorporating it and or like integrating it and allowing it to be a part of who you've become, right? Okay, so we're going to now get some oracle cards to give us some advice around your question, not really focusing on a yes, no at all. Okay, so we've got it's okay to be misunderstood. Perception is not always based on the truth. And I do feel like that has something to do with like there's some uncertainty or doubt or something falling apart right now. And it's just like, we can all only see the truths we're capable of seeing at any given time, which inherently means we're all interpreting things very differently. Whether that's words, actions, events, whatever it is, we all only have the filter that's available to us. We're never going to see things exactly the way any other person sees things, which inherently means there's always going to be slight misunderstandings or slight differences in perception. Truth is not always an objective thing, especially when it comes to personal truths, right? And so I feel like this is kind of saying like, you need to just let yourself have your perception, let other people have their perception, and not put labels of right or wrong or this or that or good or bad or black or white. Just being like, I have the perception I have, they have their perception, there's probably some truth in both of them. All I can do is honor the beauty something has brought into my life and embrace the new chapter coming in. Yeah, so, okay, let's get another one. Lady of the Lake, new beginnings. Yeah, what did I say? Something is about to happen. Yeah, different season, new chapter is coming in. I really feel the need to say to just focus on honoring and celebrating a last cycle that connects to what you've asked about, so that you can step into whatever new beginning and whatever's about to happen with more positivity and more love. Okay, and then we are also going to get an animal card around guidance for your question, tiger, divine timing. It's whatever's going on, has way more to do with timing than truth or right or wrong. And then it also says good things come to those who wait. So new beginning, something's about to happen. Timing has so much more to do with this current moment and this question than is being perceived. And that's also a secondary interpretation of this card. Misunderstanding why things are happening the way they're happening, being that a lot of it also has to do with timing. And the silver lining, if that makes you feel some grief or sadness, if there's things leaving that are hard, good things that come to those who wait, new beginning, something's about to happen. So just honor the beauty of what the last cycle was, focus on the good things, and so that whatever this divine timing is bringing in, this new beginning, this new season, you can just, again, repeating it, but step into it with more positivity and more love. Oh, these cards kind of I guess I need to push them up. Even though we've ended, I'm just going to push these up so you can see all the cards much more clearly. Okay, so this was your yes, no, maybe reading plus advice or guidance for questions. So I hope this brought some resonance for you, some insight, and I wish you good luck with whatever you've asked about, whatever's going on in your life. Thank you for being here. I love you all. If this did resonate, I always appreciate support with likes, shares, and subscribes. Kind and thoughtful comments are always something I'm grateful for as well. And I hope you have a beautiful day, and I will see you in future readings. Hello, beautiful pile 2. You are my opalite pile. So jumping into your Friday Insight reading, we are first, for those of you looking for a yes, no, maybe, we are first going to do some tarot to get that. And then we will tune into some oracle cards for those of you looking for guidance around a question. For those of you that both are applicable, stay for all of it. For those of you that one or the other is all you're seeking, just either stay for the first part or fast forward to the second part. Although I will say in the first pile, in the yes/no part, there was a lot of context that came out around guidance. So even if you're not looking for yes/no, I think it's valuable to stay for the tarot yes/no part because there is insight that comes with that. Just kind of don't pay attention to the yes/no aspect of it, just kind of the context coming. Okay, so we're going to get 4 tarot cards to get whether this is kind of swaying yes/no. We have Curandera of Water, just sort of like emotional healing. High Priestess with Mugwort. Really intuitive stuff coming through, mature stuff coming through. The Emperor. Okay. And the Hanged One. Wow, we've got 3 major arcana here and then 1 court card. So this is definitely kind of feels like a more important question than just a typical question, I guess you would say. Not that any question's not important, but this is big stuff. Trust your intuition here. Like you have very accurate and integral knowings in your sensitivity, in your emotion. And so trust that. I think you know that though, but in case anyone needs that kind of confirmation. At the same time, with the Hanged One and the Emperor here, I do feel this thing if something is eluding you, something's feeling confusing, something you're trying to find a better way to, and a more broad way to understand something in your life that might be complex or confusing. The Hanged One, where I'm getting that kind of insight, is sort of subverting the Emperor. Like the Emperor kind of wants to come through in you to establish some order and some clarity and some forward movement, but it's not time yet. This feels like a timing question, like you're still needing to work on the way you're perceiving something and finding a way to get further and further into your heart to see something about this question. And then once you do, you will know the action to take. And it's saying to just like continue to trust your inner knowings, trust your intuition. I feel like you're probably doing this well already, but it's more maybe some confirmation coming through to continue to allow waves of emotions to just move through you before you kind of take the action. I think you sort of understand that you're still unraveling an onion here, like getting further and further into different layers to try and get to the core of something or to understand something. And it's like I feel like you're doing the right things. But this is just sort of like continue to trust yourself and continue to try and see further and further through your heart into the matter. And then once you do, you'll know exactly what to do and what actions to take. And something new coming out of this, some kind of different direction or different order coming out of this as well. Similar to the first pile, this was a tough one to give a yes/no to. I would say not right now. I don't think there's a hard no to this, but not right now is like all I can find. Yeah, just follow kind of the wisdom that came out through the cards and you will know when the timing is right to take action on this and whether you have a yes or no. Like you'll come into that knowing, but on your own, whether you get a yes, no here ultimately, but right now it's a no. Doesn't mean it's going to stay no. There's more for you to process and more for you to trust about your perception, your inner knowings, I guess I should say. And there's more work to get into your heart here. Okay, so let's move into some oracle cards around guidance. So just to reiterate, it's a no for right now. It could turn into a yes in the future, but you'll know when the time is right, when you've come enough into your heart and processed enough emotions and trusted yourself enough, you'll know the answer and you'll know the action to take. But right now it's like something's just not clear. Okay, let's get some oracle cards guidance for this. Seek guidance in this. It is time for a different perspective. Yeah, I mean, that's great. Maybe talk to whatever you've asked about. Talk to someone who can be very, very outside and objective. That might be incredibly helpful to process something here and to come into better trusting yourself and better into a broader understanding that helps you get into your heart. Yeah, I mean, I think that's really, really wise guidance is to, you know, it's always nice to get a very objective outside point of view and perspective on things. One that has like no emotional biases in whatever you've asked about, around whatever you've asked about. Someone who can just really give it to you straight kind of thing. Yeah. But I would imagine if this card is coming up that there's probably someone you could think, you know, like just spend a minute after this reading ends and like who's the first person that comes to mind or who's the first type of person. So it might be someone you already know, or you might be like, I would really like to talk to a counselor or a spiritual advisor or whatever, you know, a type of person. Or there might be a specific person that comes to mind that you know isn't like emotionally invested or has any biases that like pops into mind that you're like, oh yeah, I really should talk to this person. Yeah. And then the mist, trust your inner compass, be led from within, which is confirming what I felt around the curandera of water and high priestess. It's like, you have really integral, strong inner knowings. I think you're maybe having a hard time trusting them because something feels complicated here. It's like not straightforward. And so it's hard to just have real clear inner knowings at the same time. But you do have some strong inner knowings. And it's like, continue to follow those. They will lead you further into your heart. And into knowing what to do, what action to take. Okay, and then let's also get, it's kind of like do the next thing you know to do at every step until things become more clear. Okay, and then an animal wisdom here. Dragon, Gaia's gateway, access Earth's inner wisdom. I think also spending some time in nature might help you to get further in touch with your heart, your inner knowing, just kind of harmonizing your essence, your nature, your naturalness, your trust in yourself. So that is some beautiful guidance coming through too. It's like, yeah, get out into nature, get out and enjoy whatever's happening in the season in which you see this. I'm doing this reading during Taurus season, which is one of my favorite seasons to be outside because everything is starting to come to life. Color is starting to fill in on the earth. It is one of the best times to connect in the year with nature. So I definitely feel that in the dragon here in this reading of like, especially if you come to this during Taurus season or an earth season in general, it's like your call to action that like nature has a lot of wisdom for you and a lot of regulating your nervous system, your emotions, your natural essence, your natural nature, which will help you to further know how to trust yourself, because I think that's one of the most pivotal things coming here is like you're really needing to trust yourself, and I think there's some doubt around trusting yourself. One step at a time. Seek an outside unbiased guidance, insight, advice, and be in nature one step at a time. Okay, I hope this brought some insight, some clarity for you in some way. If so, I always appreciate support with likes and shares and subscribes. Always grateful for kind and thoughtful comments as well. But I just am grateful you're here. Thank you for that. That in itself is supporting me. So thank you. I love you guys. If, never mind. I was going to say something, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, have a beautiful day. Good luck with your question, and I will see you in future readings. Hello, beautiful pile 3, my aragonite pile. I'm just going to put your stone to the side over here. So we are going to start out your Friday insight reading with some tarot cards to get a yes, no, maybe answer to a question you've brought here. If you're more interested in the part after the yes, no, maybe, which is just some guidance for your question, I have found that even if you're not interested in a yes, no here, that the tarot cards that come out that apply to the yes, no still paint a lot of context to what's being felt around this question. So definitely don't fast forward. I know in the intro I said you could just like fast forward to the guidance part if you were mostly interested in that, but I would suggest watching the whole thing because the tarot part is bringing a lot of context to things, kind of initiating the story of what's being felt here. If you're only interested in the yes, no, you could just take off after that has come out. Okay, so let's get into it. We've got Magician. We've got Curandera of Fire. A lot of like activation energy so far. Adelita of Fire. Ooh, this feels very beautiful. I don't know, just the flow of these images feels very beautiful to me too. And the sun. Wow. This is a big yes. This is definite yes. This is activation, feeling excited to sort of like initiate something I'm feeling, especially with that Adelita energy, is like initiating, getting to work to manifest something with some real deep skill you already possess, and feeling aligned, feeling like the timing is right, feeling driven, feeling motivated, feeling eager and happy and joyful, like you're just turned on. It just feels like you're turned on. So a big yes here. Really beautiful energy coming through here. Very magnetic too. It just feels kind of like if it applies, if this works for what you've asked, like get to it. Like go, like this is your go moment. Okay, well that was pretty straightforward and easy. Let's do some oracle cards to get some guidance around whatever you've asked that feels like something, yeah, exactly, like new, fresh energy and creativity in something. And we have let it come forth. Give yourself permission to feel it. There's a lot of passion here And that might be something by allowing your sensitivity to come through, for you to feel life, to just let things come through and out of you. Even if some of those things aren't totally positive, which I don't necessarily feel would be accurate for all of you, but for some it might be present that there are feelings or things coming through you, you're processing. Whatever is turning on in you, you can take whatever you're feeling, positive or negative, and create with it. Like turn it into something beautiful, right? That's what's coming through with that. Let things flow through you and into creation. But allow yourself to feel whatever is coming through you and just channel it. Then the sacred well, replenishment, self-care, giving from a place of plenty. I feel like that's where you're coming from. Like, if that resonates, if you have been doing some self-care, some downtime, it's really been something that is foundational to this new energy coming through. If none of this is resonating and you're not feeling this, this is saying you'll get there, but you need to give yourself some time to replenish, to rejuvenate, to indulge in some self-care, some downtime, some space, some sleep. Yeah, that kind of thing. And so if you give yourself that, then you'll kind of feel what we've been talking about. I think for most of you, you're coming from that, and it's allowed, this really vital, exciting energy to be able to surface in you. And then we have honeybee, divine feminine, you are being called on to rise. Yeah. Like it's time to come out of the cocoon, out of the cave. It's time to put yourself into action, to create, to put your energy into the world, to channel whatever's moving through you into something beautiful. Start pollinating, creating, expressing. So if you're still in self-care mode, this is the call to action. If you haven't done that yet, get to it right now. Or if you're already coming out of it, it's confirmation that it's like, just like a beautiful time for creation, I feel like, but like really tune into your expertise you already have with new things that you're feeling, with fresh energy you're feeling. So really beautiful, beautiful stuff coming through here. I love this reading for you. That's where I'm going to leave this. If this resonated, I always appreciate support with likes, shares, and subscribes. Always grateful for kind and thoughtful comments, but in general, just being here is supporting me. So I thank you for that. I love you guys. Good luck with whatever you've asked about it. There's just beautiful energy around it, however that applies to what you've asked about. Okay, see you later in future readings.